Why is it important that landlords get specialist insurance?
Obviously need special insurance in this day and age. The fact the property market's picking up, a lot of people take a property out as a second insurance, so to ensure that revenue stream that they've got in an area and a market that's growing in this day and age is vitally important.
It's very important that a landlord takes out a specialist product, because the standard household policy is really designed for owner-occupied properties. A landlord's policy will invariably give cover, for example, for malicious damage caused by tenants up to a certain limit, and it will also may give some theft cover possibly by tenants.
What many landlords don't realise, especially so-called accidental landlords, so people who are renting out a second home or a family home that they can't sell, is that once tenants move into that and they're no longer living there, the home insurance policy will not pay out if, for example, the property is damaged by fire or burgled or flood damage. If they're not living there, then the home insurance is invalid. So we need specialist landlord insurance which covers tenants living in the property, and any damage the tenants may cause to the property will be covered under a landlord insurance policy, but home insurance is simply not enough.
What are the most common claims you receive from landlords?
Escape of water is quite a big one, so tenants will often call their landlord saying the boiler's broken or there's flooding damage through the roof, whatever, which can be a bit of a nightmare for landlords to get sorted, but at least they know that they've got financial help to get it sorted from their landlord insurance policy.
Probably the most common claims on landlords' policies, and this is very true of the owner-occupied business as well, is escape of water claims.
As a provider of legal expenses and rent guarantee, obviously the most frequent claims we get are for eviction of tenants and or squatters, and also the recovery of the rent that's contractually due to the landlord from tenants who don't pay for a variety of reasons.
Do you recommend tenant referencing and or legal expenses and rent guarantee insurance?
Firstly, tenant referencing, definitely. As a landlord, you wouldn't really want somebody that you know very little about moving into your property, and it's obviously finding out what they do for a living, their background, their current financial status. So if they've got a history of keeping up payments, but also referencing their previous landlord. Why did they leave their last property? Legal expenses, for a landlord's point of view, is paying a very small premium each month, and it covers them against tenants not paying the rent for up to 3 months in a row. It gives them a little safety barrier to be able to pay their outgoings.
Rent guarantee is always the product that people don't think they need. Then as soon as they have a problem with the tenants, they realise it's a very important product. And for a broker's point of view, once you get it on cover, it will renew again, because the landlord realises it's very important and definitely worth the money.
Without doubt, definitely recommend landlord's legal expenses and rent guarantee to protect the landlord for the performance of the tenancy agreement with the tenant, a number of disputes that can arise that they don't foresee, and then also to protect the rent contractually due.
I think it's very, very important that you at least have some sort of referencing for your tenants. It's your property and you want to know who's going to occupy it. On the rent guarantee, I would certainly recommend anybody to look into their own circumstances and the cost of providing rent guarantee insurance and legal expenses insurance.
Do you feel that the buy-to-let market has changed during 2014?
I think more and more people are looking to buy properties as part of their pension fund. There are so many changes coming in pensions. No one's getting much of a return on their savings, and they are seeing buying a property as a very, very good way to invest their money.
I think in London it's reached a point where rents have been going up and up and up for so long that they've become almost absurd, and I think London is not a good place for a landlord to look to invest now, because the rent is high but the property is expensive, so the margins are not as good as some places like Sheffield, Southampton, certainly places that are easily commutable to London, Essex, Brighton, those kind of places will offer much better rewards than London at the moment.
Definitely the landlord market 2014 picked up without a doubt, coming out of a double dip recession, people having more spare income, investing that into property, a very secure investment. So yeah, without doubt, definitely progressed.
What do you predict for the property market in 2015?
Big area that we've seen is HMOs, which is houses of multiple occupation, which used to tend to think of those as kind of student properties where 6 or 7 people live together. Obviously a landlord can get much higher rent from each person, cumulatively earning more. So HMOs, I'd say, definitely in London and other big cities, it's a good way to make maximum returns from one property.
In 2015, I think the housing market will still be very buoyant. Be interesting to see what happens with interest rates. But even so, I think that there will still be landlords out there who are looking to expand their portfolios. They see this as a very, very good investment. And all I can see is the buy-to-let market increasing.
2015, it's just going to get better and better. Obviously, investing in a lot more new properties, government's right to buy schemes, new incentives coming out from various providers to invest in properties, certainly on the first-time buyer scheme. I think that's where it's going to go for 2015.